Hey, this is Andrew Brown from Exam Pro. In this follow along, we're going to look at how to utilize IBM's offering for Kubernetes. So here I have an IBM account. You'll have to go create one. I'm going to go ahead and log in to my account. And they do have a very sleek UI, I have to say, for a cloud provider. And so we'll give a moment to log in here. Now, I did already launch a cluster, and the reason why is just it takes so long to launch them. And I really don't want to have to launch one and wait. So what I'll do is I'll kind of piecemeal this in the sense that I will show you kind of the creation process, but I won't hit the create button, and then we'll go to the active cluster, and we'll see if we can kind of do stuff there. So what I want to do is just make sure my running cluster is already there. So I'm just kind of trying to remember. I don't use IBM Cloud too much, so I'm not sure the interface too much. But if I go to Kubernetes here, I should have a cluster already running, because it did take a long time for it to spin up, like longer than AWS. So I think Kubernetes or IBM wins the longest time to provision control plane award, if there is ever an award. Not a good award to win, but the idea here is you'll go to IBM Cloud on the left-hand side, and you're going to go to Kubernetes. And then from there, you're going to create a new cluster. So I guess I can't right click that, but we click it. And they have two plans. And don't get shocked here. I know this says $2,500. And that is a bit crazy, okay? But they do have a free plan. And that could be the reason why it takes so long to provision. Maybe it's slower. So they have a free plan that lasts for a cluster that will last for 30 days, and then it'll automatically delete. It's for just tinkering around and doing things with. So notice that it is free, but there could be some additional charges. But let's take a look at the standard to understand the cost of Kubernetes on IBM Cloud. So down below, we have Classic and VPC. And then you can choose your resource group for whatever. And then it just shows you geography, availability, metros. So metro is just, I guess, the town or whatever. And then notice down below, this is basically the cost here that's driving up is the amount of nodes. But if you scroll past it for a second, there's these integrations that they have, which is nice: activity tracking, logging, monitoring. And so these technically add a cost, but if you checkbox them off, it actually doesn't really lower the cost there. So it's not a true cost. But if we go up here, maybe the problem is our instance is too large. So it says 16 gigabytes. We know that the minimum should probably be something like 4. So if we switch over to 4 here, and I'm just looking which one's cheaper. This one's the cheaper one. And so we will choose that one. So save per tool. And now it's down to $982. Still really, really expensive. So let's go down to one node. And look, it's $340. So for whatever reason, I don't know the logic behind it, but it's extremely, extremely expensive. But hold on here. Let's take a look here. So this is 15 cents here. It still says 3 workers. 3 zones. Okay, so that's the reason why it's so darn expensive. So if we were to reduce the amount of zones, there we go. Okay, so that looks a lot more reasonable. So this says $100, and I guess that actually is pretty cost effective. So like if we had a 2 vCPUs and 4 memory, let's go take a look here. So if we go, as a comparison, we'll use EWS for pricing here. And so we were using a T3 medium. So if we go to a T3 medium and we look at the cost, it says 0.336, and theirs is 0.15 cents for something comparable. At least that's what it looks comparable to me. And we go 730, so it'd be $24. But like with the control plane, it pretty much is the same cost, but overall the worker nodes are more expensive. So if you had to scale up, for whatever reason, IBM Cloud is super, 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 super expensive. All I can think of is that maybe there's something I don't understand about this VM. So I'm just trying to look if there's something maybe more cost effective. So like if we went virtual shared, I'm just trying to find the lowest cost here. No, so I guess they're just generally expensive. Okay, so but anyway, the idea is you'd go free and then you'd create the cluster. I can't make more than one free cluster, but you create it. And then what it will do is it will start to provision, like it'll get it ready to go. And I'm going to tell you, it takes forever. So it'll start the control plane, and then it has to start the nodes. So you'll see it, if we go over here to the IBM Cloud, Yeah, you'll see like here, it'll be like progress, 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 progress. And then when that finishes, it'll say available. And then you go to the worker nodes and this will be like progress, 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 progress. But they do have a really nice interface. So it's not showing up here, but it was showing me instructions before if I click help. Yeah, there it is. And so it popped up and it was like, here's your instructions. And I really liked that. And another thing is it has the Kubernetes dashboard. So you press it and I mean, I haven't seen it work yet, but I'll click it and we should be able to get our dashboard. So that's really nice. I don't see any of the providers doing that. And I don't know why they don't do that because it's super, super nice. Yeah, I like that. But let's see if we can connect. Never done it before. So IBM has their own Cloud Shell. So we'll click on that and add that there. We'll see if we can get like an Ingress controller connection. We might not be able to do it on the free tier, but let's see what we can accomplish. And while that's going, I'm just pulling up some instructions here to see if I have some reusable ones here. There we go. So this one's up. I'm not sure if there's a way for me to increase the font here. I don't see an option. I can try Control Plus, which is kind of a weird way of doing it, but it will work. And so we'll go back over here. This will be all too large. And we'll copy this line here. That's to connect to the cluster. So we'll paste that on in. We'll hit enter. And we'll type in kubectl get pods -a just to kind of look at what there is. And they got Calico, Core DNS, dashboard metrics. Hopefully every time I do this with other providers, you kind of see that everything's a little bit different and we'll carry that information forward. There's OLM operator. I don't know what that is, but yeah, we have some nodes. So I guess we can go ahead and start launching stuff. So we'll do what we normally do. So we'll do kubectl create, deploy, nginx, image equals nginx. And I think that is it. Yeah, okay, and we'll hit enter. So we have our deployment. Look here, deploy your app. So set up an image repository to deploy your app. We already did that. Expose your app. Test access to your apps. Create a node port to test your app. Well, if we click this, where does it go? I'm just curious if they like have anything built in. I was thinking maybe we'd go like to the worker nodes or something and you know, like how we saw GCP. No, it's just instructions. Okay, so if we go into worker node over here, can we click into this or configure it? No. If we go to the worker pools, nothing super exciting. They have this DevOps, which is I guess like GitOps. It's probably the way like to do continuous delivery. So I guess that's kind of nice. But I'm not really seeing any kind of like easy to use interface. So I think like basically it's just a cluster with no additional fluff. Now, what's interesting is they do have a bunch of these add-ons here, so you can press it and it will automatically install. So that's kind of nice. But I'm just trying to look around here because I really haven't poked around. Install add-ons. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So what we'll do is we'll try to, we'll make a service, I guess. So we'll need a node port service. Let's see what they say here. So I guess they're suggesting to make a node port. Get a public IP address worker node in the cluster. If you want to access the worker node from private, get the private IP. What I'm wondering about is like Ingress. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's say IBM Cloud Ingress, Kubernetes. So here we have a service that's being exposed. Then there's IBM provider domain. So yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I could spend more time with it. It looks like this is kind of the ingress here. I wonder if we could just use this. Show more. Oh, it does say nginx. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, let's try it. Okay, so we'll say kubectl expose. Sorry, I'll bump this font up here. I think I went too big here. Deploy. Nginx, port 80. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head. Target, port 80. That's the way I learn. I have to try to like recall from memory and get it right. And then we have the type, right? And we'll say node port. Cool. And so then we need ingress. So we'll go over here to this. And I mean, we've done lots of different ingress here. And so I don't think there's like an editor per se. No. But what I'll do, I'm just going to do ls. I'm going to say vi. I'm going to say ingress YAML. And this is vi, so everything's hard. So I'm going to hit I for insert. And then I'm going to right click and paste. Uh-oh. It didn't like that. So I'm going to hit Control Q. It's all the way over here. Q quit. So I'm going to try this again. Control V maybe? Oh, sorry. I Control V. So I can't seem to really paste this in here. So I think we're pretty much bust here because otherwise in order to get this file in here, we needed to connect kubectl on my local computer or something else. So I would say we're pretty much bust here. And I'm not really that worried about trying to get IBM Cloud to work, but just more to show you the interface. We've seen a lot of times how this stuff works. But there is a little bit of trouble here. So I think that's all I can really do here for IBM Cloud. But hopefully that gives you kind of an idea of what it looks like for IBM Cloud. But I was hoping what would happen is if we deployed that ingress that maybe it would just work, but then down below, exposing ALB to your Kubernetes ingress cluster. So there might be like some ALB stuff. So I would think that either maybe you'd have to like enable ALB, but like since we're doing this in the free tier, I don't even know if they give us that. So that's why I don't have confidence that we can expose it. But we would need ingress, eh? So I think we're pretty much done here. And I'm just going to go ahead and click in here. And we're going to delete this cluster. And I guess we got to type it again here. And there we go. And just make sure it is deleting. I'm just going to refresh here. There we go. And I'll see you later, okay?